On the first one.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks. Normally, we record this.
I think it is recording.
Yeah, it's recording, but normally we only record after 7 and when the official meeting starts. But the last time I forgot to turn it on, so I turned it off when we have our social visit time.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it going. I'll be right there.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, I just turned the light down. I don't know if that makes any difference. Yeah,
No,
probably not.
I don't do a lot of video on my, when we have Teams meetings for work, I don't do a lot of video. So got some crummy camera that I bought during COVID, and it's like my face is beat red. It's really not that bad, I don't think. So I'm just fooling around. Yeah, I could do that. I don't know. But yeah, I guess he could invest in a little bit better setup, but oh well. Might have to do that someday. So, did you lose power last night?
Yeah, we did for a couple hours, I guess.
About an hour. So, wonder where the. I mean, they got it on pretty fast. I didn't even know it. My wife told me it's yeah, the power went off. And I go, really? So anyway,
I think I saw some post that said it was at Green Tree and Lakeview, so not far from you.
Green
Was
Tree, Lakeview. Oh, yeah, or Lake Ridge.
Lake Ridge, and it may be that was somebody just saying that they lived there and their power was out. It may not
Oh,
mean
yeah.
that was the location of the outage.
This neighborhood loses power all the time. It's funny to see all the people that have installed generators since 2 years ago. You see those Generac generators outside their homes. Any new home remodel, they're all getting generators installed. It's not a bad idea. Although this year we were lucky.
I've got a couple of small Honda camping generators that I can hook up that'll power the stuff that we need. It'll run our furnace, our
That's nice.
our refrigerator, the refrigerator in the garage,
Yeah.
the computer, and about half the lights in the house.
Well, that's cool. I only have one, but got it set up with extension cords all over the place to run the refrigerators and what have you. We needed to get a cut in for an air mover that we have in a mother-in-law quarters it's heated off the gas hot water heater. So it's just like a radiator, but it heats like a bedroom, a bathroom, and a living quarters downstairs. And that's all I would really need to, we could all live, my wife and I, we could live in that no problem and just have heat, just from that. But I just need to get electricity to the air mover. So, and just have to have somebody come and put that in so I could plug it into the generator. Then we'd be great. We'd be in fine shape. Anyway, yeah, not this year. Looks like.
Do you pronounce your last name Kreitler or Krittler?
Kreitler, yeah. It's a long I. Yeah. Yes. So the Germans didn't know how to spell apparently. So because it used to be. I think at one point in time it was Krautler. Kreutler. So you can imagine that they didn't know what to do with that, so they picked Kreitler. And but everybody says Krittler. So I sometimes don't even bother correcting it because it's just it's been that way for so long. It's not a big deal, but yeah. Kreitler, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has work been busy?
Yeah, crazy busy for me. We have a big trade show next week down
Ah,
in Los Angeles, where I understand it's supposed to be in the 90s all week,
oh my goodness. Where in LA?
just downtown. And I was looking at the weather forecast, and it was, I think one day was actually forecast to be 100 down there. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's down at the LA Convention Center, down right in
Yeah.
downtown. Like, and
Where are
we're
you staying?
staying at the Bonaventure, just up Figueroa.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, famous for all those Clint Eastwood movies and every other movie that takes place in LA.
Yeah, yeah, where he goes up in the elevator.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. I think there was a Schwarzenegger movie that was filmed there too. But boy, that's been in a lot. That hotel's been in a lot of movies made back in the 80s and 70s and 80s. That was
I used to go to meetings in that hotel. Frankly, I hated it because it's so easy to get lost in that hotel.
oh yeah,
There's it's if they had like a green, they're like, what is it, 5 columns or six
yeah,
columns? If they
towers.
had
Yeah, yeah,
if they had if each tower was its own color, then you
yeah,
might be able to find your way around. But after you've walked around there a couple times looking for the coffee shop, or boy, you're completely tangled up.
yeah. No, we've stayed there before. It's one of the hotels that the show staff recommend. It's actually one of the cheaper ones, probably because it's older. But cheap isn't anything. Cheap is $300 nowadays. So
Wow.
before taxes,
Yeah.
and and it's a pretty good hike down to the convention center. It's probably 8-10 blocks. I would
Yeah.
somewhere around
Yeah.
there. So, but it's a straight shot down, and frankly, they've probably built more hotels closer to the convention center. But it used to be there wasn't anything else down there. You had open space, and then you had the Staples Center and the Nokia Theater. That area, the can't remember what they call it, but there used to be not a lot of big chain hotels. Now there's a lot of like boutique type hotels, which are really expensive. Obviously going after the people that come to concerts or to go to games or things like that. But it's
Right.
so yeah, I'll be down there from Sunday morning through Friday morning, and it's the biggest show.
Uber's pretty easy down there.
What's that? Yeah,
Uber is pretty
Uber.
easy down there to get around.
Yeah, yeah. I would guess we'll probably be taking advantage of that because it is going to be toasty, and when you're wearing a suit, and of course I don't have any summer suits. You don't need a summer suit in the Northwest, so I'll be carrying my jacket and or whatever the whole time. So, but it's it's a big show, and so I've been busy just getting stuff together for that, writing things that we're gonna put on our LinkedIn site or on our website, articles, white paper type stuff. So yeah, so that's been. Plus, I'm the guy in charge of making sure everybody's registered and has a hotel room and all that stuff. So I've got all the so-called marketing duties
Ah,
for our company. So, but it's every year it's kind of interesting, and this, it's ever since the AI stuff started really percolating, the business has gotten a lot of it, or the show has gotten more attention because people are now introducing new technologies um, to make not just AI but faster telecommunications possible. And so there's just been a lot of innovation with not just fibers, but also the electronics and data modulation schemes and just interesting papers. You have these people get up there and talk about all the, how fast things are going to be going and how much power they're going to consume. And you're like, your eyes are rolling in the back, just on the back of your head, just, you can't even grasp how much, how fast things, how fast the speeds are going to get, and also how much power they consume. It's just
Yeah.
gigawatts of electricity. That's going to be the big problem, is we don't have it. We don't have that kind of capacity, and Europe certainly doesn't have that capacity. So it's interesting.
Hey, John.
You're muted, I think.
Yeah. There we are.
How's that?
That's it.
John, this is Dave Kreider.
Hi, Dave.
Dave,
Nice
this
to meet
is John Thies. He's our treasurer.
Hi, John. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be voting in Dave as a board member in the May meeting after. Hey, Bryce.
Hey there, I'm just I'm messing with my settings, trying to get this logged in, but hello everybody. It might take me a second to get it going.
Bryce, this is Dave Kreider and Bryce Secord.
Hey Dave.
Bryce, nice to meet you.
Dave is assuming we get the bylaws amended, we'll vote Dave in as a board member in May.
Nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a lot about you the last couple of meetings, Dave, and sounds great.
No, they're all lies. Maybe not all.
Bryce, were you messing around with those switches last night around 1 o'clock?
Nope. And actually, I was driving by, and I stopped by the crew today that were just off 43 and talked to them right about when they were getting things going back up off I think it was off E Avenue, and we had a couple hundred outages up there.
Is that right? Oh my goodness.
Yep, there was a tree that came down on 43.
Oh
No.
wow, where?
Just north of Terwilliger.
Oh wow.
North. Okay.
Well,
So
we lost power. We lost power around 1 last night for a couple hours.
Yep, we did too. And unfortunately, our dang light in our bedroom, when we lose power, it's fine because the light's off, but when power comes back on, the light turns on. So I think it was 2:30-ish. Our bedroom light came back on.
Hi, Meg.
Everybody.
Hello.
Well, I'm glad it was as short-lived as it was.
Well, I had to reset all my clocks inside and out, so it was a busy day.
Dang it.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about
go ahead. Go ahead, Meg.
connected clocks. I didn't even have to change anything for daylight savings time.
Oh
Everything
yeah.
just magically did it.
I need to do that too.
43 was still closed when I came through at like 3:05 today. So it was closed when I left at 8 in the morning, and then it was still closed. So they didn't. Does anybody know what came down in the road?
A big tree. So a friend of mine lives right along there, and he said some big trees came down.
Plural, like more than one.
Yeah.
Yep, I was coming through a little after 4, and I was headed to work about 6:30 this morning, and it was closed, and coming through about 4, and I saw our crews. Like I had to go around and come back down Terwilliger again, and they were about ready to throw some switches to re-energize that line again right around that time.
Okay. I'm gonna go grab a pen. I'll be right back, everyone.
Looks like Nancy's with us. Nancy is our historian. She wrote all of the articles on the history of our town and all the different people in town that we post on in our newsletter every month. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Chris.
So good to have you join us. Can you?
Well, I've tried for the last 3 months and I have forgotten every month. So I tied a string around my finger this time. Good to be here.
Hey, Nancy, it's Carrie. Thanks for sending over your copy for the newsletter.
Oh, hey, no problem.
You have great stories about LO residents, former residents, or characters. So it's in history, like historical. It's really fun.
Thanks.
Any more coyote sightings in the neighborhood?
That's like one of the reasons why I've gone on Nextdoor in the past. Like, I'm like, how many coyote sightings are we going to get today? I will say, so we live at Crestview and Woodland Terrace, and there has been mornings where you like open the front door at like 5 o'clock for whatever reason, 5 in the morning, and there's just like five of them like running down the street. You're like, oh yeah, gotta get home.
Yeah, they got a distinct look. They've got that longer nose. It's not a dog. I mean,
No, you know,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. So Dave, we're neighbors, I think, because you live up on the roundup or the cul-de-sac, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
So you were
I live
saying Woodland Terrace and Crestview?
Yeah, I'm right down the street from you.
Okay, well, we'll probably walk past your house every weekend.
Probably, yeah.
I can walk on Saturdays and Sundays, and yeah, so.
The
Yeah.
southern side of Crestview.
Yes, okay. So,
Mhm.
gotcha.
You'll know me now because Chris gave me a yard sign today. So our yard signs are up, back out.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, Chris. Thank you.
Sure.
Sorry, I couldn't help.
It was a labor of love in the rain.
Yes, I bet.
But I made a jig in my shop, a piece of wood that sits on top of the bottom horizontal bar, and then I can drive that in with a hammer.
Oh yeah.
And it works great. It's so much quicker and so much easier than trying to stand on that little bar and push it down. All that does is bend the bar.
Bend it.
So this
Those
the jig solves both problems.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to step away again and get my receipts so I can put it in the base camp for John. I'll be back.
John who?
I'm sorry, John?
I said John who?
I don't.
Whoever she's giving the receipts to.
It ain't me. I'm not no senator's son. I mean, I'm just.
Hey, Chuck.
I was muted, so you didn't hear me laughing, John.
Sorry.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, guys.
Rick Cook, our representative from Area 0, is here. Thanks for joining us, Rick.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, that's a funny way of saying it. I like that.
Yeah.
Rick, I'm not sure we've met in person. I'm Carrie Love. It's funny. I'm going to reach out to you offline and ask you a couple of questions about Stafford Hamlet that I just need like clarification on. When I'm writing things, I feel like I'm kind of saying things wrong, and so I know it's on my list of things to do, and I keep kind of like
Anytime.
Okay, thank you. All right, John, I'm taking pictures of my invoice receipts.
if there are signs associated with that, I also need pictures of the signs.
I know. I actually did it on my walk today. You've trained me. I'm getting better at it. So today I actually was on my walk and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get him pictures.
You know, I kind of went out on a limb. I put 3 in front of Park Academy. And
I was gonna ask you if you asked them or you just put them up.
no, I didn't. I
I
didn't.
think they look great.
I just put them up. I was going to ask
Elizabeth?
Nancy or Jenny maybe to
Oh.
talk to her.
Okay.
I think we owe them that. I think I probably got a little out over my skis. We have a
Yeah.
quorum and it's now 7, so we're going to
Great, let's
start.
do it.
So, Elise is kind of our guest speaker tonight, but her meeting with the community health and what is it? Health and I can never remember the full name of that.
Resilient.
Yes, that's it. That board is usually ends right at 7, so she'll join us in a minute. But as soon as she gets here, we'll jump back to her and let her talk about next door. But let's get started. So the first thing I'd like to move that we approve the meeting minutes from the February meeting. Thank you, Chuck, for preparing those and getting them posted.
I second it.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Or if you don't have your video on, somehow signify. There we go. Okay, good. That's approved. Chair report, South Shore Fire Station is cranking along just great. The big push right now is endorsements and speaking. We have, if you count all the endorsements, we have almost 200. It may be a little over 200. We have about 125 individual endorsements, and then another 30 or 40 individual, groups, organizations, neighborhood associations, Friends of Lesher Farm, all of that. So we have great support north of the lake, south of the lake, everywhere. And we're going to consolidate all those tomorrow and then get them into the county election office on Monday. And the art contest, Jenny, you are just in time. The art contest. You know, that was the first published event for our committee. So congratulations. That was just published yesterday, right? In Lake Oswego Review. Good article.
Thanks to everyone who contributed. So we'll just keep pushing along. And I'm really excited. We have 4 judges right now, maybe a 5th. There's a lot of Mary Kay sent out a message in the whole newsletter from the superintendent that goes to every parent who has a child in the Lake Oswego School District. So that's the first burst of awareness. But if anybody wants the news release or a flyer information, just go ahead and text me. I mean, I think this is the awareness will grow through word of mouth. So if you can tell a couple of people, they tell a couple of people, that will really help. So, and cheers to Kate for putting together the amazing website. So that really helps. Thank you.
Yeah, and the networking that you're doing with the art teachers is really helpful too.
Yeah, that was such a brilliant idea. We're getting access to all the parents in the school district basically for free and having fun doing it with the kids with the art contest. So it's a great idea.
Well, thank you, Chris, for inviting me to speak with you. So that was a lot of fun. Everyone, all the kids.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you. At the council meeting.
Okay. Elisa, are you ready to tackle next door, or do you want me to keep going for a bit?
If you could keep going, I am on my way home from the.
Oh, okay, sure.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll let you know as soon as I am planted at home.
Okay, perfect. So the next item I have on the agenda is I wrote out the bylaws, the modification to the bylaw that we voted on in the last meeting. We voted unanimously in favor of this modification. And but ultimately it has to be voted by 2/3 of those present at the annual meeting, which would be in April. So I just stated here just for clarity so people can see what it is. And so in that context, I'd like to introduce Dave Kreitler. Dave has joined us. Dave is a candidate for Area 6, and he lives in Area 5, but this change in the bylaws will allow us to bring him on board. So the sequence here, what we're planning is that we have voted on this bylaw change already as a board. It needs to be voted on by the general people in attendance at the general meeting. That will happen in April. Assuming that happens, then the board can vote on Dave to join the board in May, assuming that there isn't another candidate from Area 6 that runs for the board. Carrie?
Just to clarify, it's 2/3 of the this is a question to clarify. Is it 2/3 of the people attending the April meeting that chooses to vote?
Yes.
So, okay. So chooses to vote. So people can come to the meeting. They may not choose to vote, which is fine. That's their decision. But we're going to have a paper ballot for this particular bylaw change that's independent of everything else that they're voting on.
Right. I'm glad you
Okay.
asked that. So here's the language. The bylaws may be amended at any general membership meeting of the P&A by 2/3 favorable vote of those voting on the proposed amendment. Right.
Right.
So at April's meeting, I will bring up the subject and state why I think this is important, and let everyone know that the board voted on this unanimously to move forward, and that we're asking for that the people in attendance to vote. And there'll be a separate paper ballot for this issue. It will not be on the ballot that has candidates for area representatives. And then, so the last item I have is the April general meeting planning, and that's coming along well, I think. Park Academy has been gracious to host us again. Carrie, you have several items you want to talk about on that, and Jenny, if you do, hop in also.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Okay, so does everybody see the presentation we used last year? Okay, so this is last year's presentation, but what we did last year is basically we use this for the cadence of the meeting. For anybody that wasn't there or new is that there's certain categories or committees that people are in charge of. And I made these icons, and then when their committee came up, they went to the front and talked about their topic. So it gave everybody the ability to know who people were, what they were working on. And the one ask I have, and most of you guys did this last year, is before the meeting, I need 3 talking points from you from what has happened since our last general meeting. And this is basically what it's going to look like. So you give me your talking points, I put it up on your slide, and then you use this as a guide to do your 5-minute or how much time you need to get in front of get in front of people. Just a reminder, Elisa, you did do yard signs last year. It'd be great if you did it again. And Chuck, you did volunteering opportunities. It would be great for you to do it again. There's not much that's changing on those 2 topics. So if you guys are willing to do that, that would be great. Go ahead, Elisa.
I am very willing to do it, especially when you've been doing all the work. So I'm very happy to do that. And I would like to also talk about our next door page, if that's okay to also.
Yeah, sure. And that may be like on another slide, but
no problem.
You can jump in on that slide. for
Yep,
sure.
no problem.
Okay,
However you
thank
want to
you.
do it. Yep.
Okay. So I'm just kind of going through and showing you some of it will look different for this year, but this is the basic layout. And then Chris, I just want to give you a heads up in that you have kind of the overview of how we vote for board members. And
Sure.
then you kind of talk about the ballot. So we will have a printed ballot for the election for board members. They will have the ability to do online voting as well. We ask them to vote once. It seems like the information they give in these two different scenarios, we'll be able to see who's voted and who has not voted. And just to remind everybody, we have 0 now that I know that with Rick to 13 regions in next door or I'm sorry, in our neighborhood, and people can vote for the chair position and only vote for the area that they live in. So they just to clarify, everybody votes for the chair, and then depending on where your address is, you vote for that area. So all right. You're going to get an email from Chris and I just pinging you about those talking points. I will tell you traffic is our number one. And is Rob on this call? I don't think he is. I didn't see Rob Heap's name, but traffic is our number one topic. In all of the traffic coming through our website and our newsletter, people want to know more about sidewalks, pathways, and traffic. So just giving everybody a heads up on that. Do I have time to go over the survey as well?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay,
Yep.
so we have been conducting our annual survey, and we have, let's see, I'm going to pull over the results. I'm not going to go through all of the results. I'm just showing you to kind of remind me how many people have responded, but we've had 61 answers. Last year we had 26. But that was kind of problematic on launching a new site, and like just it went on, it went off, it went on, it went off. So this year we have 61 responses. It will close on April 3rd. We might leave it open maybe through that weekend to hit newsletter recipients one last time, but essentially around before the general meeting. And then what we're going to do is Chris and I will work on putting this all together in a package for you so you can see the results and read the comments. So that will be coming for the board's, review. And then as a board, we can decide how we're going to release that information, because I think if you take a survey, you probably want to see what the results were. And so that will be a topic for the future. So I think that's all I had for my report. Is there anything else, Chris, that you made notes of from our meetings?
Anything to report on the grant application? Any news?
No, but I did meet with Madison and Tio. Tio is the city's new assistant deputy manager. Titles kind of confuse me down there, so I'm not sure, but that's what he introduced. He's lovely. He came up through the youth council in Gresham and worked for Gresham and now works for us. I think he's probably a great asset. And then, they just need to make the decision if they pay the vendors directly instead of flowing the money through us. And that's it. That's what they have to make the decision on, since we don't do taxes and so I haven't heard, but I'm actually meeting Tio tomorrow over coffee. So I'm going to ask him, I'm going to ask if they've made any decisions. So just a day later than the meeting.
Okay. Anything on the yard signs?
Other than you got them out. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, we did one thing different this year. The skin, the paper that goes on top, that is a temporary part of the sign, you can peel that off, and what's behind is the note to subscribe, so they can stay up and still say subscribe.
Yeah, it's printed on it, which is great. And Chris came up with that. Brilliant.
So the current sign is for the general meeting in April. As soon as that meeting is done, those skins will come off, and we'll add a skin or a sheet for the bond. Vote yes on the bond. Nancy, did you have a comment?
No, I'm just thinking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm done.
I assume Elise is still is still on traveling, so we'll keep going. Treasurer's report. John?
Before I get into that, I would just say about the traffic, it would be great to have somebody from the city or the police department come and talk about their position on speeding issues and the like on South Shore. I know we've had issues with this in the past, but it doesn't seem like the city's too concerned about it, thinking that South Shore is a thoroughfare and they can't do anything about it. It's state, and it'd be nice just to get that clarified for people so they know who's responsible for what.
You know, they reached out to us wanting to meet with us or talk with us, and so we've tentatively set May that we've invited them to come speak to our board meeting in May. And also, I should mention, Lynn Peterson is the new city manager pro tem. She was the president, or she still is until her term ends, president of Metro, the Metro board. Very well connected. I met her, Ginny and I met her just in passing at that board meeting where we presented the art contest. She's a very warm, very outgoing, eager to meet with P&A and learn more about the neighborhood. I was really impressed at the warm welcome that we had. So, and I've extended to her an invite to come to our general meeting and not necessarily give a talk, but just to say hi and introduce herself, which would be great. So at some point in the future, whether it's June or July, I'm sure we'll have her come to a board meeting. Yes, Nancy.
There's a Oregonian article on Lynn Peterson. You might want to read that.
I'm sorry?
There's an Oregonian article about Lynn Peterson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And her change in position. It isn't all good. So anyway, just to get background, you might just want to read that.
Interesting. Okay.
She has quite a bio, and comments on that I've read around her. People, you know, she's well liked, I think. Okay. So John, your report.
Okay, so our current balance in our Home Street bank account is $411.58. We've got $75.18 worth of pending reimbursements that have not been submitted yet. There's a $100 minimum for submitting these reimbursement requests to the city. So once additional receipts have been submitted, I will go ahead and submit them. 4 months of base camp, which account for $60 of this, was paid by Frederic. I had made a $60 withdrawal from our Home Street account and sent the check to Frederic for reimbursement. A question was raised last month meeting about the amount of reimbursements that have been made in the current fiscal year, which runs from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th of 2026. And to date, there have been $324.68 of reimbursements that have been submitted and paid by the city. The annual limit.
Good. So
we
still have another. Sorry.
So the annual limit is $1,000 for pre-approved reimbursable expenses. So we're well below that.
Good. So there's another $760 roughly that we could submit within this fiscal year.
Yeah.
Before we hit that cap.
John,
Terry?
I'm sorry. Can you say that number again? I was trying to put my reimbursements up. But what did you say? How much have we spent within this calendar year for the city starting July 1st?
$324.68.
Okay.
So $210.80 went to Kerry for yard signs, and $113.88 went to Chris for admin supplies and web hosting fees.
Okay. Thank you.
So as always, P&A residents are encouraged to donate to our neighborhood association. For information about projected expenses and how to donate, refer to the Get Involved, I Want to Donate page on the PalisadesNeighborhood.org website.
Thanks, John.
That's it.
LOSD, Jenny?
Sorry, just trying to get back on camera. Everything is good with the schools. The only thing I'm going to update right now is that all the schools that have received money for the bonds, they're all going through focus groups, or they're actually getting ready to be built. So the two schools, the two elementary schools that are being rebuilt, the kids are moving over to the Upland School and Palisades, which is in our neighborhood. We have a focus group next Thursday to give feedback on the remodeling of that school to make it earthquake resilient. So those are the highlights from the last bond.
Great. You know, our P&A's relationship with the school district has really blossomed since you've been on the board. You know, we help support their bond, and you're staying in contact with them. And then Mary Kay joining our committee for the fire station has just been tremendous. So it's really good to see that relationship building.
Well, we're all one community, right? We're all here together. So
Yeah.
So,
keep working.
Jenny, do they have enough room
Okay.
at Palisades?
I'm so sorry. What?
Do they have enough room at Palisades to bring kids over? Because it seems like it's a pretty small school.
They are going to, right now we're missing 3 classrooms. So they have to build out 3 classrooms.
Okay.
And it will look like, just like Upland School. It's the same architect. They're going to just extend a wing into the playground now. And they're going to
Okay.
push the playground out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, David, Emergency Prep Committee.
Hi, good evening. I don't have a whole lot to report as far as updates related to emergency prep go. Although, obviously, from the South Shore Fire Station standpoint, it sounds like the City Council voted to move that forward last month. I think we're all excited about that and possibilities of moving that in May, and also lots of volunteer opportunities to get the word out.
Funny you should mention volunteer opportunities. I didn't pay you for that advertisement, David, but look, I would encourage, some of you are on the committee, so you know this already, but I would encourage everyone to go to the Lake Oswego Fire Station Rebuild website, and there's a volunteer page. Go on the volunteer page. Carrie put together a great list of all the volunteer opportunities, and there are lots of them. Open houses, farmers markets, honk and wave for the LO run, and canvassing. Canvassing is the hot one. Just 2 weekends. It's a couple of quick Sunday afternoons, and we need an army on canvassing. So I would ask everyone to go to the website. It's Lake Oswego Fire Station Rebuild, and look at the volunteer opportunities. That would be great. David, is there anything new with the water distribution, or is that really dead for the time being?
Yeah, I'd say it's on pause for the foreseeable future. I don't have any updates on that, unfortunately, right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy, do you want to give us a quick report on parks?
I don't have a report this month. I have been gone most days between the last meeting and this meeting. So I'll have to update on base camp when I get that update. So I don't have anything to report.
Okay. Rob is not here, so we'll go over pass on traffic. I did see, I think it was in LO Review, or somewhere I read that they're going to be rebuilding the little water pump station on McVeigh and Oak. So traffic on McVeigh is going to be interrupted for a while. Land use. Meg.
Don't have too much to report, and it's been pretty quiet. But we did, Ken Allen did receive final approval from DRC for the Stafford project. And as far as I know, it's going to move in. You might have a little bit more information than I do, Chris.
I don't.
Everything's on moving forward.
Yep. Okay. Carrie, communications and technology, anything to add from what you've given already?
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about like things we're going to be creating. So I talked about the survey. Our newsletters are going out every month on time. Again, we're getting lots of hits on traffic and in the content that we put up there. And again, just writing content is giving us more firepower on Google. Like our organic search is so high. It's like probably 70% of how people find us is just typing in Palisades neighborhood and and it just we are number one on Google. So that's fantastic. A lot of that is because of all of the content that we're writing and we're putting out there. So if you guys have any content that you want to write, that would be great. I'd throw it up there any day. And then our newsletter, we kind of have a little bit of a dip in February for our newsletter. Not really worried about it. And then we're going to be working on the electronic ballot for the annual meeting. So if anybody has any remembrance of how that's been done in the past, just send me an email because and we're going to be doing that in the next couple of weeks. So that's about it. Chris, have you had anybody declare candidacy for any of the areas? You were going to talk kind of about everybody and who's running. Did you have anybody?
I've talked to almost everyone on the board. There's still several of you, 4 of you that I have not heard back from. Everyone that I have talked to so far is going to stay on the board.
And
So-
has anybody emailed candidacies for any of the regions or
No.
areas? Okay. I
No,
was just curious.
other than Dave Kreitler, who's
Right, sure.
joined us here tonight.
Yeah. Okay, great. I forgot to ask that earlier.
Since we're talking about the newsletter, Nancy Dundas, I hope you can turn on your video so that we can all see you. Nancy wrote a column on history in the LO Review for decades, and she compiled all of the articles that she wrote and put them into a book. And she's retired from writing on with LO Review, but she's been kind enough to allow us to publish once a month her history articles. Nancy, can you turn on your video so we can see you and you can say hi?
I'm not going to do that because I'm lying on my bed.
Okay, I'm putting you on. I'm being unfair. I'm so sorry, but thank you. I'm glad you could join us, and thank you so much for your contribution.
Oh, I'm delighted.
Okay.
Thanks for the opportunity, Chris.
Oh yeah. Elisa, are you ready to walk us through next door?
Okay, so yes, I am ready. But here's the problem I'm having. Nextdoor, I've got a different computer, and Nextdoor is supposed to send me my code for me to be able to log in, and of course it's got a delay. So that's always like super fun. So I'm gonna just go ahead and talk a little bit about Nextdoor, and then if my code comes through where I can log in and share my screen, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we have been doing posts on Nextdoor every single week to have a regular drumbeat of information out on what is going on with our neighborhood association, and we've been able to get some decent amount of attention with that. However, what Nextdoor does, and by the way, how many of you are on Nextdoor? Do you follow the Palisades Neighborhood Association page?
I do, but I hardly ever see stuff. Maybe I don't have it switched on correctly.
Well, there's a couple of reasons why that is, Chris, and so I'm going to talk about that. Any kind of social media will prioritize actual humans over things like community pages or business pages. And so there's that. So we're up against that. So anything that we can do to have actual real humans interact with our page will help us get into that feed. So anytime any one of you like one of the posts we've made, or you follow the page, that will help us bump up. The other thing is on your news feed, and I'm hoping I can pull up a document here and share that way real in a minute here. When you go through on your news feed, it'll say, do you want nearby content or recent content? You need to make sure you've clicked nearby so that you get Palisades information. And so I want to, let me see if I can share here. And unfortunately, Nextdoor is not cooperating to let me onto the site, but I've got a document I can share. 1 second here. And Chris, I may have to do this next time. So having that other board meeting right before this one led me to scramble. So can you all see my document?
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I have this on as a document in Basecamp. And so you can pull it down, you can get a copy of that here, but let me just kind of walk through it. So when you are, and this is an example of when you're on your phone, when you go into your Nextdoor app, you're going to see this little search button down at the bottom. You want to use that and search for Palisades Neighborhood Association. So that's step one. So you type in Palisades Neighborhood Association in the search bar. And then when you get to our page, the Palisades Neighborhood Association, you're going to see faved. You want to click on that. That means that you are saying that this is a site I like, and I want to see content from this site. Can everybody see that and what you'll see when you go into Nextdoor? Okay. All right, let's say we've done something. You'll see I do posts every single weekend. So you can go on anytime during the week. You can visit our page by just searching for it, Palisades Neighborhood Association. And then scroll down to the page and you're going to see posts like this one, where I say we've got a meeting reminder. And if you just click on the heart there, that will be very helpful, because that says you're liking that content, and then it'll help us rise up in the hierarchy of what the neighborhood sees. So for example, when I log into Nextdoor, the first thing that pops up for me are our posts, the posts I put on, because I like every single one of those. And so it prioritizes that content for me, and it would be the same for you. So I went through that kind of fast. Does anybody have any questions about that and how to follow us and how to like our content?
No, I'm on Nextdoor and I have faved us, but I don't go and like stuff. So I will be better at going and liking things.
Thank you.
Or commenting, yeah. Because I know that's a huge thing with Nextdoor.
Yeah, it is. And it again, it's going to always prioritize actual humans. Anyway, I wish I could actually pull up the actual site for you, but this document is on our Basecamp, but I'm going to email it to all of you for those of you that aren't on Basecamp. So in case you wanted to use this as a guide for how to go in and follow us and what to do to like us.
Do you get any sort of like reports of how many people are engaging with the posts, like in general?
Yeah, so we went,
okay.
Since I could bring analytics to the next meeting. I'm going to stop sharing. Since we started posting once a week, we jumped up from having like 3 people to now we consistently get between about 700 and 1,000 views. Now that's a lot better than 3, right? But so we are and Carrie, exactly what you said. Like whenever I did anything on any kind of traffic issue, I'd get like somebody would comment on it, or they're just loving the traffic, even if it's bad news. So I think we can continue to highlight that. I think whatever you can do to help us get our numbers up so that more of our neighbors see the content would be much appreciated.
I want to emphasize this is important for 2 very important reasons. One is we need as much involvement in P&A with our community as possible. We want people to know what's going on in their community, and we want people to know that they have access to information about the community. So that kind of engagement with our neighbors is really important. Emergency prep and everything. The second reason, and this is one of the reasons that I ran for chair last year, is that when we have issues that we want to take up with the city council or the city manager, problem issues like the battle we had at Racine Park on the playground and the picnic area, if we go to that meeting knowing that we have over 1,000 subscribers on our newsletter that hear about an issue that can come and support an issue at City Hall, and that we're active on Nextdoor for communicating with our community, we're going to get a lot better response from the city council and the city manager. And so that's kind of one of my overarching goals. And we have grown subscribers on the newsletter, but this Nextdoor is just as important. And if it can drive people to the website and to subscribe, then even better. So thank you, Elisa, for taking this on. I know it's a big job posting all this stuff every week, and so I would encourage. I know Nextdoor can be kind of a wine session sometimes, and I almost turned it off just because I got sick of reading all the nonsense about stuff happening 50 miles away from Palisades. But for this purpose, I would really encourage people to sign up, put P&A as a fave, as Elisa showed. If you have questions on how to do it, Elisa, I'm sure people can give you a call and you'll walk them through it. But I would really encourage people to do this. In the long run, this is going to give us a much bigger hammer and much greater political capital when it comes to dealing with the city. So thanks, Elisa.
Chris? Chris?
Yeah.
Can anyone post on the P&A Nextdoor, or does it have to go through Elisa?
So you can, so first of all, I'm happy to post anything for you. I'd be more than happy to do that. In addition, you can comment on any post. So the administrators of the page are the ones that can post, but I would love to get something from you to put up there. And I would designed a graphic with each of my posts, so it's visually interesting. And I just want to say, Carrie does all the heavy lifting. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the content that Carrie is producing, and I'm just creating a post out of that for our Nextdoor site. So I always, it's like a little teaser. I'm trying to drive people to our website. So they see us on Nextdoor, and then I always give them a reason why they'd want to click and get more information on our webpage. So if there's multiple ways, if we do something in the newsletter, I can highlight it on Nextdoor. I am open to any and all content you all would like to do. That is an open door. I'd be thrilled to do that.
I have some thoughts about that maybe might help you.
Fabulous. Let's get in touch.
Okay, let's take it offline.
Okay, perfect.
Before we go to public comment, Nancy Sage, I wanted to ask you, or first, Elisa, were you done? Is your Nextdoor, you done with the Nextdoor?
I am done, and I'll bring you analytics at the next meeting. Thanks so much, Chris.
Okay, thanks. Nancy Sage, I was curious if there's any update on the Springs for the fire station endorsement.
They are looking to organize a meeting where we can speak to the residents and the
Okay, oh, that's
endorsement.
right.
And for the endorsement, I'll follow up tomorrow to get their final answer.
Okay,
But
great.
Verbally, the director was supportive.
Okay, and then I posted 3 P&A meeting signs in front of Park Academy today on South Shore. And since you've been talking to them, could you call them tomorrow and just ask, is this okay? If just tell them your chair got kind of over enthusiastic and plopped down 3 signs in your front yard. If they have a concern, I'll go grab them and pull them up. But we thought it would be logical to put them there since that's where the meeting is.
Right. Jenny, do you have that contact?
I do. Yeah, I don't know if this far in advance they're okay with that. Maybe after, if they have any issues, we'll say, can we bring them out in the beginning of April? Because that's like 9 days prior when people ride back and forth.
Yeah, ultimately, what I'd like to do is leave them up after the general meeting and change it out to be vote yes on the bond. And I can talk to them about that.
That might be asking a lot, but because I know they have been hesitant in the past with having one constantly there. So just FYI, because we talked to him, Frederick and I, about yard signs. They don't mind it around the general meeting, but then they definitely have opinions. FYI,
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't take the committee's yard signs.
I'll go over there tomorrow because I'm going to drop off flyers for the art contest. So I'll talk to my contact that Nancy and I have outreach to and see.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect.
If there's an incident at that school, I mean, the fire department just has to walk over. So maybe. But not if the building is not earthquake resilient, then they might be out of luck. So,
right.
Yeah. But I just think they probably are going to, maybe I'm just anticipating they might ask us to wait till April, but that's fine. It's still.
They'll
Right.
just burn it if they don't like it. So.
Well, the fire station's not earthquake resistant either. So if one goes, the other one goes.
Remember, this call is recorded, everyone.
So for the public comment, I'd first like to introduce Dave Kreitler a little bit better. Dave is a candidate for Area 6. And thank you, Dave, for joining us and for reaching out with a desire to join the board. I know Dave coincidentally through a men's group that we attend together, and Dave is in the fiber optic industry. He works for a company that builds testing and kind of quality control equipment in that industry, and the stuff they're doing is absolutely mind-boggling. Dave, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what you do?
That's good, Chris. You did a good job. Yeah, I've my wife and I, we've lived in the Palisades neighborhood now since 1998. We've raised 5 daughters through in this neighborhood and through the school system. and yeah, we've have no plans of leaving, and I think that we, it's just was getting to a point where the kids are all gone out of the house, and felt like maybe it was a time to get a little bit more involved in the community, at least know a little bit more about what's going on. I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know everything or don't know a lot of things about what's going on in our neighborhood, but I'd like to, because I do care very much about the neighborhood, and having seen it, just we've been in Lake Oswego since the early 80s, but just on this side of the lake since the late 90s. And so, yeah, we're looking forward very much to just knowing more about what's going on, and hopefully provide some assistance where I can, and of interest in lots of different areas, in the fiber optics business. Also, used to be a very avid gardener, not so much, as don't have the time recently. Hopefully we'll take up gardening again as when I retire. I'm still working, as Chris said, in the optical fiber business, and that's still keeping me pretty busy. Because I work full time, and probably will be working full time for another few years. So I think that's about it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that's really noteworthy.
You mentioned on your candidacy form interest in tree permit coordination, E-Prep, and neighborhood parks. We haven't had a tree coordinator for at least a year.
A tree coordinator. Well,
I would say that'd be an easy one for you to slide into.
Well, went through the whole process, and I was actually kind of surprised. I mean, that it went as smoothly as it did, but it did. We had two very large fir trees. Carrie might remember them in the front yard. Two very big trees, and we're at the top of a hill. And every time that wind blows out of the south, it just go, oh, please God, not today, because it's just they get really rocked. And so I just decided that I don't want to wait another few years before they come down. And as it turned out, so I filed to have them removed, and with the city, and they came out, arborists came out and looked at it, and looked at them, and they said, well, one of these isn't just a type 2 removal. In fact, it's got fungus, an aggressive root fungus growing in it. So I was like, oh, never knew. I thought those cute little mushrooms around the base of the tree were just cute little mushrooms. No, they were an aggressive root fungus. So one of them had to be removed as a hazard. Once you took that one down, its twin really needed to come down, because they've existed together for forever. And so, yeah, we were successfully negotiated or navigated through that process. And actually just last weekend planted my mediation tree in that same spot between the two firs, a nice dogwood that hopefully won't grow to 80 feet tall. So, yeah, but I was surprised kind of going through the process that actually went as smoothly as it did. And so, yeah, I have interest in the trees and in the parks too. As I've told Chris before, I spent maybe 5-10 years ago, I spent a whole heck of a lot of time trying to convince the city of Lake Oswego that I should be able to keep a hive of bees out at Lusher Farm, and it would be in their interest to let me do so. And in fact, I would be happy to teach classes about beekeeping, because I kept bees as a kid, and kept some bees actually when we lived over on Noss Road in our first home in Lake Oswego. And so I have a deep interest in beekeeping, but I don't want to put a hive in my backyard, because both of our neighbors have pools, and in the summertime, bees and pools, they have a thing for each other. So I understand though that they're actually going to allow a local honey company to put some hives out at Lusher Farm. So I'll be interested to see how that all works out. But so yeah, this is actually my master plan, is to join the Palisades Neighborhood Association, like, so I can get some beehives out at Lusher Farm. So thanks for voting me.
All right. All right. Thank you. Rick Cook, public comment. Thanks for joining us. Would you have anything you want to share? Maybe Rick can join us in a second. Nancy Dunnis, anything that you would like to share? Thank you so much for joining.
How do I get in touch with the person who's working on Nextdoor?
I'll send you both an email, then you'll have contact info. I can do that. That's easy.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Well, all I can say is I wish I lived in the Palisades neighborhood. I'm in the lowland.
Well, I don't know. We get this is Elisa, the next door person. Dave, I have the twin firs and I've got a bunch of big white oaks, and last night I was like, please don't take the house out. It is, they're beautiful and stunning, and it's why I moved here, actually. I just think the aesthetics in our neighborhood are amazing. But yeah, it is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Rick Cook, anything you want to, did you rejoin us?
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. Just real quick, we had our Hamlet meeting on Tuesday and CPO meeting. And really the only thing coming out is in probably early April, we're going to have, the end of April, early May, trying to put together a candidate forum for Clackamas County Commissioners. Currently, there's 14 candidates running for 3 positions. So it's going to be a little wild, I think, and some interesting names coming back to try to rejoin the commission.
Good. Stafford Hamlet and the Stafford Tualatin and Valley CPO both endorsed the fire station project. You guys are great neighbors, and we are actually neighbors. So I mentioned this to Danielle when I met with her briefly, your chair. We need to collaborate and coordinate a little more closely. I appreciate you're kind of the link, you and Randy, which is great. And let's look for areas that, maybe we can help you, or areas where we might call on you for help.
We're all there. And I think some people would rather have me maybe sometimes be the missing link, but we're here to help. And I always joke that I'm the area 0 rep because I'm right at the roundabout.
That's right. That's right.
No,
okay.
You guys do a great job, and I appreciate your time with us.
Well, I think we're done. Unless somebody has something to add, we'll finish early. Does anyone have a problem finishing early?
Oh, no? John has his hand up.
John?
And just a quick comment. Like Oswego paper had a story about Knox box locks. I don't know if you all have seen that. Some outdoor boxes that hold keys. So in case of an emergency, the fire department could get into your home without having to knock the door down. Mm-hmm. I recently bought one, installed it. They had the fire department come over, and they've got a key to my house now. So the whole thing was pretty seamless. So I just thought I'd share that. And if you're interested, you can go to knoxbox.com and get information on residential lock boxes.
Is that NOX?
KNOX.
KNOX. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a realtor lockbox, but it has the key to your house in it, and only a fire department has a key to open the Knox box. And it mounts permanently on the side of the house. It doesn't hang off the doorknob like a realtor.
I'd like
Yeah.
see that's amazing, and I love that. But working for PGE, we have run into issues with that a lot. Uh, for the fact that people can knock them off the sides of the walls and get access with keys to get into people's residences. So I think it's great.
But the screws are like 6 inches long into the house.
Yes, yes, I agree 100%. I agree. I think it's great, but I also know that people can take a hammer and get access. So that's all I got.
Okay.
Windows.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, any other comments before we adjourn?
Just one question for Rick Cook. Rick, you mentioned some pedestrian and vehicle accidents near the roundabout. Do you want to review that real quick? I was unaware.
Actually, that was up at Overlook and Stafford.
Yes.
Okay, overlooking, so at that big intersection with Azalea.
Yeah, with the
Okay.
and that's with the signal there, where evident, and I don't know the particulars other than what I read was actually I think 2 gals got hit by a gal that wasn't paying attention, and then a young man got hit by a car crossing the street there.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know.
A high school student that was I guess it was the end of the day, and once again somebody not paying attention.
Right. Okay. Thanks for reviewing that. Appreciate it.
I probably
Yeah.
of any intersection like Oswego.
Yeah. I'm
Mary?
up there almost every day when it's released and people are speeding out of that high school. Like
Yeah.
it's insane. It's
Yeah.
really uncomfortable to watch.
Well,
Okay.
let's bring that up with Rob next time, and the police department rep will be with us in May. We can certainly bring that up too.
And just real quick too, where Ben Adams, I had talked to him where at one point in time on a weekend, in front of the Stafford retirement place, they had a no parking stretch down there, and there were people parked everywhere, and they were actually ticketing, and so evidently somebody complained a whole bunch, and now their answer to, instead of ticketing it, they removed the no parking signs.
Oh, that's
Just
interesting.
Point of information for you. So from that whole stretch, from about the first entrance going into the bridge down to almost to Ben's driveway is parking on the street now too.
Okay. Thanks for the update.
That's been my experience, is that they've been getting rid of the no parking because I don't like giving parking tickets. So it's kind of.
They don't like giving, Lake Oswego police don't like giving tickets, period. When I was working traffic, that's what I learned. I worked very closely with them, tied to the high school, and I would make suggestions and they would say, but I don't want to give them a ticket. That'll affect their record. And, even people who are, ignoring stop signs and things like that. It's like, well, I don't want to give them a ticket. And maybe I could just talk to them. So they really have this culture of not wanting to give tickets. So I think that could be an issue if we have pedestrians getting hit by cars, then it might be time for some enforcement.
And also, hence the 20 miles an hour speed limits in residential areas too.
Right, but without enforcement.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll make them go 20. We'll make them go 20 so they'll actually go 25, which is what we want them to do to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you, Rick.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
Okay. Well, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you all in April at
Welcome
the
back,
Parking
Nancy.
In person.
Thank you. I'll call you soon.
All right, sounds good. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.